Hello and welcome to this video and this channel. Today's subject is about how can I put this? It's about the purpose of an indigo or an empath. So there is a reason why we are here as an indigo or an empath. There is a reason and a purpose behind why we're here. Now, it sometimes, depending on the upbringing and the conditioning and the lifestyle, as it were, that an indigo or an empath has been brought into, it can be realised early on, or it will come much later in life. I was fortunate enough really to realise very early on in my life that I was very different from my brother and sister. I was very different from my parents and very different from an awful lot of people around. And then I realised from a very early age that I was, very much different. And that my purpose here, didn't really fit in to the environment that I was brought up in. Which is, not a bad thing, because we choose the environment we come back in. So anyway, it became apparent to me, and I have spoken to other empaths and indigos and such like, and it's also apparent to them at various different levels that we have this ability to learn things really fast. And I mean seriously fast. For some people that take 3-4 years to learn something, it can take an empath weeks, or possibly just a few months, and sometimes faster than that. Now, I'm going to talk about the hero's journey, which is, somebody designed the hero's journey, which is a cycle that all humans go through, that we learn from. We meet challenges, we have dark periods, we have, on the learning of something. So we go round in this circle, we cross a threshold, where we can't turn back, for instance. I will be doing another video about this, or have already done a video about it, maybe by the time this video comes out. But the journey takes us on a learning circle, okay? So we start off in one level and we go round and we experience and such like, and we come back into the world, as it were, a different person, having learned what we needed to learn. Empaths and indigos tend to go through this cycle very, very quickly. It is certainly in my experience and having spoken to others. So it's very easy for us to pick up on. Now, that doesn't mean to say that we do that with everything, because we are here very often to learn something. We also have a purpose in life and a job to do, but we're also here to learn. And I have spent quite a few times, going round the circle of learning in one area of my life that took me quite a few times to get right. And I believe that all empaths and indigos do much the same thing. Whether that's relationships, or whether that's work, or whether it's money, or whether it's lifestyle, or whatever it happens to be, we have to go through this cycle. And sometimes we go through it many times. And then we learn. Each time we go round, we learn. Hence the pattern of repeating behaviour that sometimes, that all humans repeat. And if you're lucky enough, you don't repeat it. Depends on what it is, but there are some people that learn something once and that's it. That's all they need to learn. They've learned how to do it, and they've learned by their mistakes and, on the path, and they go forward, which is brilliant. What I'm trying to get across is the fact that empaths, or indigo people, we tend to learn things very, very quickly because we're basing our knowledge on previous experience, life experiences, reincarnations, whatever you want to call it, and that's where the experience and the knowledge comes from. But there are things that we don't know, and they're the learnings that we have to go through. So just as an insight really, that you may find this is an indication of a child or an adult that becomes bored with things really quickly. Now, as a child that becomes bored with things really, really quickly is usually because it doesn't interest them. It doesn't stimulate them. Whereas the same activity might interest, the other 9 children, the one child that it doesn't interest has probably experienced, or something, or needs something more stimulating to keep that interest. There's nothing to be learned there, you see. So this is another trait, if you like, of indigos and empaths, is the need, the thirst for knowledge, the thirst for wanting to learn. And if we're not learning, we get bored. We learn then as we get older that everything can be learned. There is knowledge and something to learn in everything we do. And so we then tend to end up, as we get older, if we become aware enough, we tend to end up learning, making everything a learning experience. But there is always this danger that we become bored. We become stagnant if we're not challenged. Just another insight. Hopefully you found that useful, and I shall see you again in another video.